It is one of the most famous window boxes on the planet. 7 million viewers logged on to watch the Clicks live camera feed of a family of owls. 6 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. Tiger, named by then 6-year-old Alessandra Click, decided to nest in their window.
I set up a camera that enabled her to watch it from a computer elsewhere in the house. And it just so happened that the streaming service that we used had to be open to the public, and that's really kind of where it all began.
The beginning of a story that would touch people the world over.
One woman who emailed and said her mother had terminal cancer and spent her last days watching this all day. 6
seasons of courting and laying, nesting and fledging, 10 owlets later, and little Alessandra is nearly a teenager now. She was looking forward to next year's hatching. She'd already started hearing Mrs. Tiger hoot at night.
Getting to watch another season of these really beautiful, amazing owls just grow up.
Their story enchanted people around the world. A pellet gun, fired by a careless shooter, brought all of that to a screeching halt. This is surveillance video of Mrs. Tiger, right after she'd been hit by a pellet, crash landing into a home nearby and falling to her death.
I just loved them so much, you know? They were kind of like a part of our family. And when my parents told me, it was like a pet dying, you know? And it just made me really sad and kind of mad, you know?
Watching their patterns and stuff.
Desiree Click commissioned a necropsy at OSU, confirming the cause of death.
Definitely by measurements that she was 100% certain that she was shot.
When we finally got the results back, we were shocked.
State game wardens are now investigating the case. It's a misdemeanor to kill a great horned owl. They are a federally protected species.
This is a celebrity bird, and so of course we have to treat it a little more special than if it would have been out in the woods and no one really cared about that bird. But it seemed like this one had millions of followers all across the world.
It was a lifelong dream of Alessandra's to hold the owl she'd grown to admire and to love. Unfortunately, her chance came after Mrs. Tiger's death, a moment to say goodbye to the lifeless bird that brought life to so many. Allie Meyer, News Channel 4.
Well, tonight, good news about a family of famous owls that captivated online audiences around the world. Do you remember Mr. and Mrs. Tiger? 2 great horned owls nested in a window box in northwest Oklahoma City. The Click family set up a few webcams and their owl feed went viral. But tragically, last year, Allie Meyer was the first to report the female owl had been killed by a careless gunman armed with a pellet rifle. Now, we're happy to report there's new life in that window box. Allie has more.
Great horned owls mate for life, and so the Clicks were unsure if their window box would host another clutch of eggs after Mrs. Tiger's untimely death. But the end of 2016 brought new love for Mr. T.
She's much bigger, much taller, different colorings. She has some more grays. And
the pair shopped around for a suitable nest before settling on the old digs, Casa Click in Rose Creek.
We saw this huge owl on the rooftops, and then around our pots we knew that's another female.
Just as fall faded into winter and the Clicks dusted off those famous owl cameras, a sign that the Tiger name might live on. A new female owl means a new season and a new name. And Alessandra Click has chosen News Channel 4 to release the secret information. Fans have been begging about a week now since the camera feed went live. They knew it would be Alessandra to name the new owl. A 6th grader now, she selected a fitting and fancy name for wife number 2.
Studying Latin in school, we're going with the Latin words, so Altera, A-L-T-E-R-A, which means which is Latin for second or alternative, because you know this is his second mate, and so yeah, Altera.
Altera, it's perfect. Allie Meyer, Oklahoma's News Channel 4.
That's great. Alessandra's great horned owl cam is set up and streaming live right now, and we have a link for you over on KFOR.com.